Right. Welcome to the show, everyone. We've got a little twist this time. Dan's away in Dubai loving life.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got my guy, David, here. Big boy Manchester United fan. So we're going to touch on Manchester United and this special edition on the Goonerz Therapy.
Oh,
Today, you're going to get some Manchester United therapy.
Man
Dave,
United
big
passion.
up. What's going on, man?
Yeah, all good, man. Thanks for having me here. It's good to be here. We've been chatting about football back and forth for years.
For years, we're bringing the group chat to life, people.
We used to go to school together, a little background.
That's it. We used to go to school together. The glory days where it was just Arsenal, Man United winning everything.
Best days.
Our times have changed.
Mm.
Nah, let's get straight into it. Ruben AMORIM. Now, you're Portuguese. How do we say his name?
Ruben AMORIM.
There
That's
go.
how you say it. But
There
do
you
put
go.
the English twist to it, just AMORIM.
Ruben
AMORIM. AMORIM. Call him
AMORIM.
AMORIM.
Ruben AMORIM.
Guy's
So-
a Wally anyway. We're straight
Alright, there
into
we
it.
go, there
We're
we
straight
go.
into it.
So what do you think? What do you think? What have you thought about him so far?
I think you know what I think about him, right? It's been in the group chat, but we're here now. We'll discuss it. I think he's been shocking, right? He's shown me absolutely nothing that makes me feel like anything's coming next year. When Ten Hag was in charge, I could not wait to get anyone else.
I
Mate,
remember.
I would have taken Southgate.
Mm.
I know Man United
We'll
fans.
touch on that after
Yeah,
Southgate.
Man United fans were like, no way, no way, no way. Mate, the way, if this was Southgate, where Man United have finished now, and how they finished this league,
I
the
agree.
guy would have been
I
assassinated.
agree.
He'd have been shot,
I
bruv. He'd
agree,
have
he
been
would
dead.
have. I agree.
But because it's this flashy Portuguese guy, and I'm Portuguese, yeah,
Yeah.
with his little trim and that,
Yeah.
my man, he's got time. He's got time. Look, where I'm at with him, I watched him in the Europa League final, right? I don't know if you saw this. I don't know how closely you watch it sometimes when it's not your team. Like, I ain't going to lie. I watch Arsenal, but...
Yeah, that Europa League final, I can't lie. I was away on holiday.
Right, got you.
And I just thought to myself, I can't bear to watch it. I actually went out and I come back and I thought for the last 5 minutes, I hope Man United, I'm going to look at my phone, I'm going to walk into the bar and see 2-0 United. Saw
Yeah.
1-0 Tottenham and I just, you know what? And then, yeah.
Before the game even started, right, he was in the tunnel, and hopefully people watching this have understand what I'm saying and saw this, yeah? He was behind his players, right, leaning up against the wall, just looking down at the floor, bruv. And being Portuguese, I'm not saying we're all the same, but he was definitely praying and saying, God, please, I need this. Like, it will give me a lift. It will give my
Yeah.
team a lift. It will alleviate pressure off me.
Yeah.
I need this.
Strange to be doing
I
that in
ain't
front
going to
of the
lie
camera.
to you, bro. I'm all for it. Go and pray. Go do what you need to do, yeah? Do that in your own time,
Exactly,
G,
yeah.
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
When you're there, it's got to be, lads, I'll stand in front of you, man. It's on. We're winning this.
Of course.
Even if you're shaking in your boots deep inside, you're the boss, G.
Yeah. What message is that sending to the players? Yeah.
I saw him as a fan,
Yeah.
and I got nervous.
Yeah, of course.
So now, if you're one of the players, seeing your manager looking down at the floor at the back, I'm drifting now, but you got me started on this rant. Yeah, like
Yeah.
he
Go
has
with it,
not
man. Just go
shown
with
me
it.
anything, bruv. Like his confidence. I know he talks a good game, but he ain't got a clue what he's doing. However, the season's finished.
Yeah.
I want to give you a little bit of background on Sporting and how he took over there to give you a bit of context.
Yeah, please
right?
do.
Before he took over Sporting, right, they were so bad. Obviously, it was, in the Portuguese league, you'll know. You
But
got
still, though, they weren't the top team, were they? So,
Benfica, Porto,
Yeah.
Sporting. But Sporting, for years, were competing.
Yeah.
It goes between them three. Sporting was so bad at that time, bro. Fans went in and started banging out the players. They battered the players.
Yeah.
Search it on. I know we ain't on a Joe Rogan thing yet,
Yeah.
but you can pop things on a screen.
Yeah.
But they went into the training facility and started beating up the players. This is just before AMORIM started.
I do remember hearing something
So,
about that.
I mean,
yeah.
to be honest,
Crazy.
this is what we need to do at United,
Yeah.
really. I know that sounds a bit mad, but we need to go in there and rock bottom on Nana, really. Innit, right? But cut long story short, AMORIM took over. My man got rid of 25 players.
Yeah.
Gone,
Well, that's exactly what I think you guys need to do now.
right? So obviously United, the owners, even though they've been terrible, they're going off of this. He got rid of 25 players, yeah? Got a few old players, experienced people like Porro,
Yeah.
who's at Tottenham now, yeah? And promoted youth such as Nuno Mendes, you know what he's done now at PSG.
Yeah.
Mateus Nunes, I know he's been dead at Man City, but listen, he's been all right in the Premier League.
He's not been, he's decent.
Mate, got rid of 25 players, done a few smart signings. The rest was history, bro. He took over Portuguese football.
So where did they finish?
I think within a year they won the title, and they went on some.
Where did they finish before that?
At the time, I don't know where they were in the league. I'll be honest with you, but they were low. They were struggling from time the fans are going in to smack them up.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's gone on 32 game unbeaten. I know you Arsenal fans like the old unbeaten. How many games unbeaten? So I thought I'd throw that in. Yeah, it's not quite 49.
Yeah.
And bro, the rest is history. Minimal funds as well. Portuguese league's not. So to get to the point, I'm AMORIM out. I don't think he's going to pull this off despite these signings. I think by Christmas, we'll be lucky to be top 10.
Yeah.
But these signings that he's done so far, Cunha.
Yeah.
It seems like we're getting Mbuemo.
Yeah, and they look like two top signings. I would say they're top signings.
Bruno Fernandes said today he's staying.
Yeah, exactly.
Sancho's so bad that Chelsea are paying us 5 million to send him back. You know,
he'll definitely be getting sold if you can find a buyer.
Shocking guy.
One thing I will say about Ruben Amorim is that obviously I look at when Arteta first came in at Arsenal, and obviously the first season I think we were 9th or something in the table. We'd just gone out of the Europa League. 20,000 fans were turning up to watch us. Frankfurt just beat us. Awful football under Emery. Arteta came in and it wasn't straight away. He kind of just steadied the ship and he won the FA Cup, which did a lot for him. But the following season, if you remember, we were 15th, 14th. We didn't win for about 10 games. And I really do believe if the fans were there, he could have got sacked.
Yeah, where did he finish that year? Do you remember?
He ended up finishing 8th that year.
Bro.
That's the thing. He did end up clawing it back towards the end of the season.
Send a story, man.
So yeah, exactly.
15th, he's mental.
But he has only had half a season, Morium, right? Where was he when you took over?
So Ten Hag was in 14th, right?
Yeah.
But he was like 7 points off of top 4.
Yeah, but still, he's only finished one place below then.
But 27 points behind.
Yeah, I hear it, yeah.
And listen, you don't take over to get worse.
Yeah, of course.
You don't take over to be worse than the guy before.
Got to be worse to get better.
Of course. All I've done is talk negative.
But my thing about him is the formation, is that the fact he's not changed it. Now, I'll go back to Arteta. Arteta clearly wants to play 4-3-3, and everyone, you would assume at the time he's going to be playing Pep sort of football, right? Which he did, which initially that's what he wanted to do. He realised he couldn't with Mustafi, Socrates, Kieran Tierney, and he went 5 at the back. And we won the FA Cup off that. And then the next season, once he got his own players, and he went to 4-3-3. But it showed me that he could adapt to the situation, right? Arsenal do that. If we're playing City away and he doesn't want to lose the game, we set up. We're hard to beat.
He's learned that, right? I rate him for.
So that's what I'm saying with Ruben Amorim. He doesn't change his tactics at all. Surely you have to change. Surely you have to change it. But some managers.
I think when you're established. Yeah. I think when you're established, like Arteta is established now, isn't he?
Yeah,
like he is, yeah. I don't want to go back to Fergie but he was established.
Yeah.
He could go away in Europe and park the bus and try and get a 1-0 or a 1-1 and no one would knock Fergie. He's still known for attacking football.
Yeah.
When you're established, I think you can do that.
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, especially this Man United job, you've got to say like, nah, this is my system. This is what I'm doing. So I rate him for that.
Okay.
Yeah. I know most will be like, that's probably why you finished where you finished.
Yeah.
But I rate him for that. It's just, surely you were going to improve the players a little more than this. Surely you were going to get something out of the players more than this. But all I've talked is negative about him. We got to look at the bigger picture here, bro. I'd say the two most important positions, this is up for debate. We won't drift into that. But I'd say the two most important positions in any team is the goalkeeper and the striker.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper stops the ball going in the net.
Of course.
The striker puts the ball in the
Neville
net.
says the goalkeeper is the most important player.
We saw him say that, right? But if we just talk plain and simple, right? Not going into like we know a lot about football.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper stops the ball going in the net. Anyone could be watching this straight. Goalkeeper stops it.
Yeah.
The striker puts it in.
Exactly. And that's
Look at the Wallies we have, right? Onana is the worst signing. Forget Jemba and all these man Kleberson that we, Onana is the worst signing and has had the biggest effect on our club out of any signing we've ever done. I swear down.
Yeah, negative effect. Yeah, for sure.
I would even go with even positive. I think he's been that bad. He's almost got us relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we had De Gea still, and I know there's a lot of people were like, it's time to move on. I think we'd be top 10 still. I know that's not up for debate. But De Gea was fantastic. Onana.
He was getting golden gloves.
Onana.
The year didn't sign him up.
Bro, just shoot.
Yeah.
right? We
It's a
brought him.
confidence thing, though, isn't it? Because surely, I mean, the guy was
It's
playing
not
for
a
Inter
no.
Milan before that in the Champions League final. Done well at Ajax. I don't know. It's got to be.
It's not confidence,
Is it the
man.
Man United shirt? Weighs too heavy? What
No,
is it?
he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, straight up.
He's just a terrible
We brought him to
goalkeeper.
play out from the back.
Yeah. Can't
Listen,
do that.
forget me.
Mm.
Can he do that?
No, he can't. No.
Can he play it short? Can he play it long?
No, he's been shocking for Man
Yeah,
United.
right?
He has. But I just wonder, Inzaghi strikes me as a top manager at Inter Milan.
Well,
I'm not sure if he was he? Yeah, he was the manager then when he was
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's strange that he was at Inter Milan and before that he was at Ajax doing well, and he's just turned into a really bad goalkeeper overnight.
When a cross comes into the box, he's a big lad, right?
Yeah,
He looks strong.
He's terrible.
Does he come and collect the ball?
No, it's unbelievable.
You take a shot low or high, it's in.
Yeah.
Right. So he's been our biggest issue. That's not Amorim.
Mm.
That's Ten Hag.
But you're hoping that Amorim now goes and gets a goalkeeper first and foremost.
What I need to see to change my opinion, we're basically getting to the crux of this, right? At the end of this.
Yeah.
To change my opinion and be back to, I'm feeling optimistic again, and he ain't going to get sacked by Christmas.
Yeah.
If he goes and gets a goalkeeper, we mentioned in the chat the other day, I threw it out there, Emi Martinez.
Yeah, well, I think that
What Emi Martinez did in the last game against us was nuts. But
still, that would be a massive, that would be a huge signing for Manchester
it would
United.
show me that Amorim can see what we all see.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think it's out of the question. I think if you push Villa, I think he would go to Manchester United.
Nana needs to go. When I see that,
yeah.
I'm in a better mood. And Højlund.
Yeah.
Is
now, Højlund, that was Ten Hag signed.
That's Ten Hag as well, yeah.
So he hasn't had any signings. Right? Who's he signed? January?
Dorgu. Patrick
the only
Dorgu.
signing that
He's
he's
been
had.
okay, but,
Right. So it is hard to judge a man off someone else's previous signings. And some of these signings had only been there for a few months as well.
I get that. I get that. But there's
So right now, though, if I offered you Southgate, would you take Southgate? Would you swap him right now to start the season fresh?
Yeah.
Southgate in for
100%.
You would?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm not one of them fans that get, I'm quite a negative fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I come from
negative and blunt.
I come from an era, bro, where Man United have dominated. This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. We're relegation. So I would take Southgate.
Because I will say the thing on Southgate as well is everyone's so against Southgate, yeah? Right. For some reason, everyone is. But if you look at what he done with England, he galvanized a group of players. All right. He changed the style of play and he reached 2 finals. In England, they'd only ever reached 1 final ever. And he changed the whole feel of the camp, the fans. He had everyone on side.
Reaching an international football
Remember
final.
Southgate with the waistcoat and all of that? And do you know what I mean? He changed.
He's a dead guy, though, isn't it? Like his personality's not there, and that's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal for
especially if you're managing Manchester
in
United.
this social media.
I hear it, but
you need to have a vibe.
But you start getting wins, suddenly.
I think he smashed it.
You know
for
what I mean?
England. I'm a Portugal fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a Portugal fan.
And look, this is one thing I'll say, right? There's only one job that weighs heavier
than an England job.
Than Manchester United, and I would say that's England, right?
Yeah.
Or
I'd say
50-50.
United's probably heavier than England, but
possibly,
no, I get you.
Possibly, but they're the 2 most biggest
Agreed.
jobs,
I agree
right?
with you.
And
I agree
with the most pressurized jobs is the England job
with you.
and the Manchester United job.
Yeah.
So he's already done one of them. So I don't think it would be a thing where it would be too big for him.
Yeah, I would take Southgate now.
But there's going to be 90% of viewers now will be calling both of us crazy.
Yeah, well, that no problem. Yeah, but we're 15th in the league, right? We barely. What did we finish on? 41 points or something like that. 39 points, something like that.
I think
what was our, I should know this, but what was our score against Villa? We won, right?
Yeah, you made 40 points on the last
We
game.
were on 39 points before the Villa game.
Yeah.
So we finished on 42 points, yeah? Mate, 40 points to beat relegation.
Exactly, yeah.
How can you not say Southgate now?
Spurs, 7 times teams have been relegated with the points they were on, and they were just behind you.
We're just lucky everyone underneath us were terrible.
Yeah, basically.
And that's on Amorim, of course.
Which is risky business, because if you start the way you've ended the season, if you continue like that, you could genuinely be in a relegation scrap, because Sunderland, big club that have come up. Leeds, big club. Right, Burnley.
I'm worried for next year.
Yeah.
He needs to change some things. And like I said, to summarize it, if he gets a new goalkeeper, he gets a striker.
Yeah.
Right? Bruno's staying. We haven't really spoken about that, but fair play to the geezer. A lot of people saying, just because PSG got rid of Mbappe, like, yeah, you
Yeah.
got to get rid of that star player to build. Bro, PSG's team
Yeah, of course.
is unbelievable.
Exactly.
Yeah, Vitinha is, mate, TNT. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed. Yeah, TNT were
No, yeah,
bothering me. They
yeah.
weren't even chatting about my.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, he was a close one for man of the match.
Mate,
as well.
I don't know whose goal it was. I think it was Doué's first goal.
Yeah.
Vitinha picked it up from
No,
defence.
it was phenomenal.
1-2'd his.
That's one of the best goals I've ever seen in the
1-2'd his whole way, right, to play
Guy
Doué
couldn't
in.
even get a game at Wolves.
And do you know what Rio was talking about?
Oh, Rio.
Was Dembele's back flick.
Yeah.
And what's that got to do with anything? This little
Exactly.
man's just taken the ball from defence.
I watched him. I said it to you before. I know we're going slightly off topic.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we have
yeah.
to talk about this guy.
Yeah,
He's phenomenal.
mate.
I messaged it in the chat, didn't I? And I was fuming because we just lost the semi-final at home to PSG.
Yeah, you
But I
watched him
said-
live. You
I
said,
who is this guy? Because he is phenomenal.
this is not to gas myself up.
Yeah.
I was talking about him.
Yeah.
What was the last international tournament? Was it the World Cup? No, it was
Yeah,
Euros. Was it
yeah.
World Cup or Euros? What was the last tournament? Jesus.
World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
Euros, man. Euros.
Was it
just gone.
Euros?
England made the final, yeah.
Vitinha was bossing it for Portugal.
Yeah.
And this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But no one in the, no one in the chat
Obviously, quite watches Portugal like you would.
Of course.
Yeah.
bossing it. I was saying it from
Yeah.
then. So anyway, we're going off topic. To summarise on AMORIM, because
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about Arteta next. I'm AMORIM out, but obviously I just need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? I understand why we finished where we finished, but it's unacceptable
Yeah.
from AMORIM.
Yeah.
Forget what he's got. But if I see him change the goalkeeper, if I see him change the striker, and do what he kind of did at Sporting, get rid of a whole bunch of players,
Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
Okay. Because I'll tell you now, from as an Arsenal fan looking in,
Yeah.
I would certainly stick with him.
Yeah, you
He
would-
hasn't done anything that's made me think, oh wow. But one thing you do say is he does talk well. And I remember Arteta when he the first interview he gave, and I thought, you know what, it felt right. And
Man
it's like I
United
said,
fan-
sometimes you have to go through a storm, right? And you have to get your own players in. And it did take Arteta to get his right players in to get us into the position we're in now. And we will move on into that now, because we're now in a position where fans are saying if we don't win the Champions League or the league, he has to get sacked. So that's how far Arteta's took Arsenal. Because
I mean,
before, we were praying just to get in the top four. We weren't in the Champions League for 7 years. So obviously I feel like it's, with Arsenal now, I feel like it's 75% are still Arteta in.
So yeah, the question
And-
to you.
Yeah, and 25% are Arteta out.
So you
Obviously,
think that majority is Arteta?
yeah, but it is changing slightly. I can see it changing year by year that we don't win something. And I feel like next season, if he doesn't win nothing, let's
Pressure's
just say,
on, yeah.
and if we're not even in the race like this year, if we're just second or third and don't win anything, I think he will be under so much pressure to the point I even think he could actually be sacked. But I would like to ask a Man United fan, banter aside and all of that, how would you feel? Or
I think you have-
looking in.
I mean, it's difficult, right? But I think
Yeah.
you have to put yourself in our shoes and where we're at now.
yeah,
Yeah. Banter aside, we were all chatting about if United win the Europa League, we've had a
Yeah,
better
yeah,
season
yeah,
than our. Don't be stupid.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Trophies are important.
Of course.
They are. As fans,
Mm.
and the only reason I really wanted to win the Europa League is so when I have conversations
Yeah.
with fans like you,
Yeah, of
I can be like, do you know what? Even through our worst times,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
won 3 trophies 3 years in a
Yeah.
row,
Yeah,
But the truth is, bro, I'd swap roles with you now.
yeah,
My
course.
man's got you competing. He got you to the Champions League semi-final.
exactly. That's where you want to be. Scholes said it himself. He said, AMORIM can learn from this. He said, even if we win the Europa League, I'd swap seasons with Arsenal in a heartbeat.
However, you do need to win things. man.
Exactly. This is the thing now. That's the stage we're at now.
Glory's what it's about,
Exactly.
And for me, I wouldn't be Arteta out, no. But I think he's in the this is going to sound weird. I think he's in the same as me as a fan. You've
Yeah.
asked me as a fan.
Yeah.
For me, he's in the same boat as AMORIM in regards to this transfer window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely.
For me, I think Arteta, this isn't new news. He needs to get a striker.
Yeah.
I don't even think he needs to get one striker. I think he needs to go old school, the way Fergie used to have Fergie used to have 4 strikers,
Exactly.
yeah?
So did we.
Yeah.
Kanu, Wiltord, Henri, Bergkamp.
I'm not even asking for
You know what
that.
I mean?
I'm not even asking
Yeah.
for that. I mean, I don't want you to guys to get
Yeah.
but I'm being genuine now,
Yeah.
I'm being
Yeah,
neutral, yeah? I want him to get an elite striker and then get one of them strikers like Fergie used to get. He used to get Michael Owen,
Chicharito.
Henrik Larsson.
Yeah.
You know, used to pick these men that are
Exactly.
finished, but you know what?
They'll come on and
They'll
get
bang
goals,
15
and
goals.
they'll be happy to be on the bench and play their part.
They'll
You know what I
bang
mean?
15
Yeah.
goals. For me, if Arteta gets an Osimhen, Goalkeeper, someone like that,
Yeah.
a main guy,
Yeah.
and then gets, I'm plucking this out of the blue now because United were linked with him,
Yeah.
and Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So an Osimhen and a Mitrovic. Sign both.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Yeah? When it's not working for Osimhen,
Exactly.
Mitrovic is on. My man bangs a header.
Got a plan B to come on, exactly.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
For me, you get that. That's the final piece of your puzzle.
Yeah.
You don't need one elite striker. No, I think that's too much to ask of that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? You need an elite guy
And then someone else.
and then another guy that has been elite,
Yeah.
knows where the goal is. If he does that, I think you win the league.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do it, he ain't going to win anything.
Exactly.
And he's heading one way.
Yeah.
That's my view
Yeah.
on Arteta.
No, I agree with you. I agree because we should have signed a striker in the last transfer window and we didn't. And it's got to that stage now where now when you're looking at the stats, he's only signed one striker, if you can even call him that, in Jesus. In 5 years he's been there.
He's done all right for you,
Now, he
Jesus.
come
I
in-
don't want to knock him.
He
Like,
come in and he changed us straight away.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
the
And
style of play, the way
all of
like,
that, and
yeah,
injuries has kind of ruined him. But Havertz, he didn't sign him as a striker.
Yeah.
He's come in, done a job, and look, for me, Havertz could be that number 2 guy that comes on if you need a goal. But he's on £280,000 a week.
Yeah.
So like you said, you need someone who's going to be happy to be on the bench.
Yeah, I think them Jesus, them Havertz, they're not. I know there ain't many these days. Football's changed, yeah, but they're not killers.
No,
bruv.
exactly.
Yeah, Arsenal need 2 killers, bruv. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the examples. I use the old school guys. Like I said, Fergie used to pluck like a Henrik Larsson for 6 months of the season.
Exactly.
In January,
Or Jamie Vardy. That would be a great
bro.
one. Jamie Vardy, he's on a free right now.
You just hit it.
That's
you just
it.
hit it. And I know people are laughing.
No.
We're not saying Jamie Vardy, Arsenal main striker. No,
Exactly.
we're not saying that. What we're saying, and you plucked that nicely.
Yes.
I had Mitrovic out
Yeah.
there, but Mitrovic is a good one as well.
No,
Yeah?
he is, definitely.
But Vardy, yes, bruv. But
Exactly.
you've got to get your Goalkeeper or
Yeah, exactly.
your Osimhen.
Yeah.
You've got to
What
get.
about Sesko? You see much of him?
I mean, he played against Portugal in the recent tournament. My
Yeah.
man missed a sitter, and you know all it
Yeah.
takes is one.
Yeah, of course.
What's the word? First impression.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's enough for me.
Yeah. Because you know what? I'm hell-bent on Goalkeeper. But ever since, I thought, you know what? Because let's be real, no one watches 90 minutes of Goalkeeper week in, week out. And no one does with Sesko either.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I've watched a bit of Goalkeeper in the Champions League. I watched him play against Arsenal. And I thought he was good. Even though we smoked them 5-1,
I still think it's
he was
risky,
good.
by the way.
But
Gyökeres.
it's risky. It's definitely
Yeah, yeah.
risky.
I don't think Osimhen is.
It's definitely no, Osimhen isn't, but there's something clearly about Osimhen that big clubs that don't go for him.
It's his wage.
There's obviously something.
Wage. He's demanding quite a lot of money.
Wages, and there must be some sort of attitude. There must be something
Yeah.
because for him to go and get to Galatasaray is strange. So right now he's up
It
for
is
grabs.
strange.
He's at Napoli. For some reason, no big clubs going near him. What is it? There's something that we don't know about. There has to be.
We don't know
because the guy
so
is a bags man,
we
bangs in all
can't
the
assume.
goals.
We can't assume.
But there must be something.
But
because
if you
why is
got
no
him,
club going
if
for
you
him?
got him, every other fan in the league,
Yeah,
let's keep it real.
yeah, they would. Yeah, They would.
Every other fan in the league, if you got Osimhen and Jamie Vardy signed up tomorrow,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
every other fan in the league would be like, "Yo,
yeah, for real.
Arsenal might win the league." You know,
Yeah,
it's a madness. But Arsenal don't do that. They
Yeah.
just don't have that. They don't strike when the iron's hot.
know, yeah.
They even got Rice too late,
yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
They needed that midfielder. They
right,
waited.
Yeah,
He's been exceptional, yeah.
Yeah.
But you need to strike now.
yeah.
Pun intended, bro. You need to
Yeah.
strike now.
I do think. I think sometimes what it is as well with these players, and everyone's saying they want a bagsman like a Grokius and a Osimhen, who they're box players, very much box players. Osimhen though, he's got a great header, so I think
Yeah.
with Saka's delivery and Odegaard's delivery, he would score a lot
I
of
think
headers.
Odegaard needs that as well.
Right?
I know I
Definitely.
knock him, yeah.
But he needs it
You
for
know.
sure.
We had the comparison, him
Yeah.
and Bruno.
Yeah.
And early on in the season, you man were all going on like Odegaard's a
Yeah.
different level to
Yeah.
Bruno. Not in a million years.
Yeah, no, honestly,
Yeah.
I have to say, I would take Bruno because Bruno for me, he's a match winner.
But Bruno
And that's
alone
what
now gives you 15 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean, this was his worst season stats wise, right? But it's no coincidence. I mean, he's playing in the worst.
bro. I
Manchester
said this in the
United team.
chat the other day. People, not everyone gets me, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's been our Steven Gerrard.
No,
lately.
I understood what you meant by that.
Not comparing him
Obviously-
to Steven Gerrard, yeah. Steven Gerrard won Champions Leagues alone, like
Yeah,
you know.
of course.
Bruno Fernandes didn't show up for the Europa League final.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. As
But
in
he's been our
he's been the
Gerrard.
one-
Like,
yeah, because sometimes that's what I mean. I saw Roy Keane, and I thought Roy Keane. Honestly, I know he has to. That's the way he is.
Yeah,
That's his
yeah,
character, and
yeah,
you know
yeah.
his standards are so high.
Mm.
But Roy Keane ripping into him about saying he's not a good captain and all of this sort of stuff. I just thought it's so harsh. Because let me just say, I think Bruno is a top. He's right. He's in that bracket close to world class. I'm not
bro,
sure if he's
Bruno's
quite world
Portuguese.
class, but he's an unbelievable player. He's dragged United on his back. What's he won there? He's won an FA Cup, a League Cup. He's won the Europa League, didn't he? Before was he in that team?
No, he wasn't.
No, he
in that
wasn't
team.
in that
That
team,
was
was he?
Pogba. He came for that was under Jose.
So he's won.
Mourinho.
He's won a few cups, and he's
Yeah,
finished in your teams that finished second. At first, I mean, one season he got 30 goals.
Yeah. 39 goal involvements this year,
Okay, so in the league, I think he's got 8 goals, 10 assists. I think in the league,
and then the rest of it is
And the rest
yeah.
Europa League
But I
and
mean,
stuff.
still,
but still, his numbers are phenomenal, and I think it'll be interesting to see what he does with Tuna and him, because I'm not sure if Tuna's going to go up top or slide
Cunha,
to the
yeah,
left.
yeah,
Cunha, sorry.
yeah.
But I think that's going to be interesting where he's going to play them to.
Mate, yeah. I think he plays 2 number 10s, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think
But
he's
this is
going to
what
do
it
that.
is.
But lately he's
Yeah.
been dropping Bruno back. You know
But
what I mean?
You need to get some big legs behind them. Then I'll tell you that.
But back on what you were saying about Roy Keane, I don't want to drift off that for a sec. Bruno's Portuguese, bro.
Yeah.
All we do is moan.
Yeah.
All we do is moan, and
Yeah.
we love it. We
Yeah.
thrive.
Yeah.
And when you're not Portuguese, you don't understand that geezer's always moaning.
Yeah.
That's just us, bro.
Yeah.
The
Fair
guy's
enough.
passionate.
Yeah.
He wants to win. When he sees someone mashing up,
There's another thing we were talking about Bruno. Or we were saying, could he start for Real Madrid? When all the rumors are circulating, I said I do think he could play for Real
Mate.
Madrid. I
some
don't
of the
think
man in a group
I
chat,
don't
they're
think-
very
yeah.
watching this now.
Yeah.
I don't know what they watched.
I don't think he could play for Barcelona because he loses possession way too much.
I understand that, but when
Now,
you've
have
got,
you seen it though? Have you seen the stat? He's
I
lost
get it,
possession.
but you know
more
why?
than any
Why do you
Premier
think
League
that
player.
is? I want your
More than
point.
any other Premier League player.
I get it, but I want
Because he
your
tries,
point.
because he tries.
What's
because
your
he
point of
tries.
view? Why do you think that
Of
is?
course, because he's always the one trying, and he's probably in a team frustrated at the other players. You're not trying to do this pass. You're not trying to do that. You're not trying to shoot, and he tries.
That's
He
it.
try- he
He's
tries stuff.
constantly trying something. He's constantly playing forward. I get frustrated a little bit,
Yeah.
bro. Sometimes it's to the detriment of the team. Like,
Yeah.
you can't always play a Hollywood pass.
Yeah,
bro.
but it would be like Moses Barnett when he's playing in
yeah,
Aloysius.
geez.
If no one was doing that and he would carry, do you know what I mean?
Moses,
he would have to do
it felt like
something.
Moses was like 25 years older than us,
exactly.
but that's another conversation. Yeah.
Shout out Moses Barnett.
Yeah. It's because he plays them Hollywood balls.
Yeah.
But I don't care, bro, because his numbers don't lie.
No, they don't.
My man's playing a numbers game.
I think you put him in that Arsenal team, we would have won the league by now.
That's a mad
do.
statement.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I do. Because
But-
I think he would like the year we went close. Odegaard got 15 league goals that season, and he was out of this world.
Yeah,
and I thought we got the new Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah,
You know, and then the season after he was good, but this season I know he had. an
That's how we
injury.
got onto this, actually. I want to
Yeah.
get back to Arsenal. Odegaard. If he's got proper striker in
Proper
front of him,
striker, Yeah, exactly.
he'll be back in that Bruno territory.
Yeah.
Honestly, he
Because
will.
as an all-round player, as a
Class,
pure
mate.
footballer, I would
Class.
say he's better than Bruno, but I'm taking Bruno.
I go in on him all the
You know what I
time,
mean?
Odegaard, yeah.
Which he
Because,
deserves it, but
yeah,
and
he's a baller.
When you know how good a player is as well,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
performing,
yeah.
this is when players.
Well, that's part of it.
That's part of it.
For
If
me,
you
it's
set
not
your
just about
standards-
your tech.
If you
bro.
set your standards that high, yeah, exactly.
It's not just about your tech.
It's not.
It's about your mindset.
Exactly.
Are you fit all the time?
Exactly.
All of this contributes to how good a
course it
player
does.
you are. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
like.
It's like Bruno will step up and score a free kick.
Not just that, Bruno
know what I
is
mean?
never injured.
He's never injured. That's right. Never.
Guy
injured,
runs all day, every
He
day.
does. That's why I'm surprised the flack that he gets, because he's one of them players, isn't it? I think he's a bit like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. Because I remember there used to be the comparisons of him and Pogba. And
There's no
I've
comparison.
always said Bruno.
There's no
Always.
comparison. Bruno's been phenomenal.
But
for
what we
us.
did say is, because I'm going to do a poll on this, guys, because I think it's a really interesting one. Bruno or Bellingham? Now, what's your take on who?
We had to stop
who's-
talking about this earlier because
Yeah.
like I started getting a bit mad on this. Like, you
Yeah.
know, it's not even a question, man. You know, we just spoke about now. It's about being fit. It's
Yeah.
about mindset.
Yeah.
It's about being consistent
Yeah.
year in, year out. Bellingham was phenomenal for Real Madrid when he first got there.
Yeah. And for Dortmund before that as well. And for England.
Right, he scored that goal that got you through. Who was that against? Was that in the group stage or something? Was it
one? Yeah, in
the
in
knockouts?
Euros, yeah,
Yeah,
to go through.
amazing
They were
goal.
going that
Yeah,
overhead kick. Yeah,
but for me, what's he done for Real Madrid like this year? What's his numbers in that? Well, Real Madrid have been nowhere to. They got knocked out by who? Liverpool. Who knocked out Real Madrid? Arsenal.
Well, you knocked them out, Mr. Declan Rice.
Oh my God, how can I forget?
Yeah,
yes, mate, the screamer.
Yeah, and he was. I didn't even know.
Well, there it goes. That's what we were talking about earlier. I've drifted. Rice is better than Bellingham.
Yeah, Rice is for pound.
Rice is better than
The
Bellingham.
best midfielder.
And this, for me, ends the debate now. Who would you take in your team now, Bruno or Bellingham? I know it's about what your team needs, but who do you take?
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
You're worried about what your fellow Arsenal fans are going to think.
No, I'm not. I mean, I probably would.
You
go
need
Bruno
to win the league.
I want the goals, but
that's it. So that answers the question. Bellingham's got a lot.
But I have to say, I mean, if you offered me Bellingham and Rice in the middle, they played for England together as well, and because of his age and stuff,
they played for England together. They didn't win nothing.
But take the age out of it, then like I said, Bruno should be our Van Persie moment. Yeah, it should be Van Persie in reverse.
We spoke about that.
We should come in and say, listen.
Yeah, here's 140 million, bun it.
There's not quite that much.
I know you're not going to, but that's what's going to take.
I think you'd get him for 80 million.
You think you'd get him from 80 million off United?
He's 30.
He's 30. Yeah, he's old.
With like a
year
but
Van Persie was 29, 30, but we've got him 25. I mean,
yeah, but
anyway,
25 million.
Let's
like
not go
100 million now, innit?
Yeah,
but whatever, get it done, innit? Yeah, get Bruno in that Arsenal shirt.
But that answers the question.
Get him to score 15, 20 goals. You know,
in all competitions, obviously, yeah.
Like, you could even play him in a free. You could have Bruno, Odegaard and Rice. Imagine that.
Well, that's what I mean. He's better than Bellingham
and
for me right now.
You need a squad as well. So
Bellingham's young.
Get Zubimendi in that. Bellingham is young.
So he's got time.
Obviously, all day long you take Bellingham because of age, but let's just say they were the same age. Well, asking who's a better football player right now?
Bruno.
You're saying Bruno.
I'm a United fan and I get it.
Yeah.
But numbers don't lie. His consistency doesn't lie.
It'd be interesting to see what Bellingham's numbers were this year because they were fantastic the year before.
I ain't going to lie. I don't keep up too much with that Spanish league. I'm going to keep it real with you. But if Bellingham was doing well, we'd know about it. We'd know about it. Like we did the previous year. I ain't heard nothing about that geezer.
Yeah.
He was nowhere to be seen in your game. Yeah. The way Bruno gets knocked for nowhere to be seen in game. I mean, I didn't see Bellingham in that game at all. No. I saw Rice bodying him. That's what I saw. Yeah. And Bellingham getting a bit angry, trying to kick Rice. Like that alone is like, oh mate, chill out, mate. You're showing that you're not quite had a good year. Yeah. You've not quite shown up this year. That's all I saw from that.
Standards anyway.
And Rice had him.
Yeah, Rice was in the Champions. Shout out to Declan Rice, only player as well. Arsenal in the Champions League team of the season.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was in it. Yeah, I'm not sure about the full
just
team.
Those 2 goals.
Yeah, just for that, he should be on it. Let alone,
mate, unbelievable. I was going to ask you. I asked you this the other day. I know we're kind of. Would you take Conte now?
It's a really, really hard question. That is really hard question. I have to say no because right now I feel like this is Arteta's team.
You're building,
and he's got us there, and I feel
as everyone says, phase. What is it?
Phase 100, whatever it is. But I feel like, ask me this question next year. We've not won anything. I'll tell you yes.
Okay.
And for me, people think I'm just saying this, but for me, I mean, don't get me wrong. If we made the Champions League final and lost the league by a point on like 92 points, and City got 93, I'm not going to say he needs to be sacked. Do you know what I mean? So there's context to it. But if we don't win anything. You know, unless something like that, what I just said, if we don't win anything next season, I will sit here and say, you know what, thanks, you got us where we wanted to be, but we need someone that we need.
Conte don't quite whet your appetite, right?
Yeah.
Let's say now, Luis Enrique, he's won the treble with.
I can't say no to Luis Enrique.
Yeah, he's won the treble with Barca.
I can't say no to him.
Won the treble, as you know, with Inter.
Can't say no to him.
He wants a new challenge.
Yeah, I can't say no to Luis Enrique.
You take Luis Enrique right now. I don't know if you can do polls on this. I don't know what your vibe is here.
I would have to take.
Ask your fans.
It would break my heart, you know, because I've got a strong affiliation with Arteta now, and I love what he's done for my club, and it's going to be more special if he wins the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? As a rookie coming in, you know, former Arsenal.
Yeah,
captain,
I get all the sentiments, bro. But
don't get me wrong.
Let's say Enrique wins the treble, G.
Exactly, but if you offer me Enrique, I can't say no, can I? Do you know what I mean? But
Wow.
still, put me on the spot, and I still don't know what.
What
I'd
do
say in
you
that-
think Arsenal
that
fans,
situation.
if we were doing a poll now, do you think they'd all take him?
I think so. Yeah, I think they would. I think even me, like Arteta's biggest fan, I think you would have to. The man's just won the treble. He's gone to PSG. He was only there 2 years, and he's won the treble with them. He's done it before with Barcelona. The way they play football is just unbelievable. You know, because Arsenal, that's the only thing now that's making me sort of, I'm fully up behind Arteta, but when making me hear what other fans are saying, I do this show with Dan, Negative Dan, and
Mm.
he's Arteta out. But the main thing for me is that the football was so good this season. Football, it's been a hard.
But he's
watch.
Arteta out. Why? Because you're not winning anything and because of the football, yeah?
Yeah, but more because we're not winning anything.
Yeah.
He just feels like he just can't get us.
I ain't
over the
going to
line.
lie. I don't mind the football.
Well,
You know when
if
Arsenal
you-
are banging goals from set pieces
Yeah.
everywhere? Of course, I was in the chat going, look at this negative
Obviously, of
anti-football.
Of course.
The truth is,
Wind
bro,
up,
my
yeah, of
man's
course.
found a way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's winning games.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
We've held Mourinho for
Exactly.
finding every
No,
single
but
way
I'm
to
saying,
win.
go in. Look, when you go to watch football, as you know, I'm a season ticket holder. You do go to be entertained, right? You do go to be entertained. You do, like on
Yeah.
a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? But if you're winning, it doesn't matter.
That's it.
How you're playing,
Yeah,
right?
that's
If you're- it doesn't matter.
And you
It's not
are
like
winning.
Arsenal are playing.
You are
awful-
winning.
It's not like we're playing awful football either. It's just a bit slow. But I think Odegaard was out for 4 months. Saka was out for 4 months. Havertz was out. So many players being out, your football's not going to be the same. You have to play different. So I think this season is make or break for Mikel Arteta and for Arsenal in general. Because like you said, we could just become the Tottenham, the Pochettino side, the team that nearly made it, had a good team. Sooner or later, we don't win nothing next season. Saliba and Saka look at each other and go,
Yeah, we had this
you know
conversation.
what I mean?
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen. And that's the scary part of it. It happened before. I remember we were going for titles with Wenger when we had Adebayor and Van Persie and Nasri and all these good players, Fabregas. And we were like, oh, wow, imagine when they're all 28. None of them were at Arsenal when they were 28. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they left. Yeah,
This is what I'm saying. So we're looking now going, Saka's only 24. Imagine when he's at his prime, 28. Imagine Saliba, who's only 23, 24. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying this year's the last year for
This,
Arteta?
this is it. This is it for Arsenal in general as well, because unless Arteta's gonna go and you're gonna say we're gonna bring in an Enrique or a big name, you know what I mean, and get the players to then say, okay, let's try it with him. Do you know what I mean? So I just
predict
think
it.
for
Predict it
Arsenal
next
Football
year
Club,
for me. Predict it next year. What happens for Arsenal next year?
honestly, you know me, I'm so usually positive, and I would say that I think we're going to win the league, but just because of what Liverpool are doing in this transfer market, don't get me wrong, Trent is a massive loss. So Frimpong kind of,
But you think you're going to win the league, yeah?
if we sign
Yeah.
a striker
Yeah.
and
Who's perfect for you? Name me the
What's
three
your-
play. Do you reckon you'll sign? Let's
Well,
call it
for-
3 players. Let's call
three
it 3
players,
players.
realistic, like
Yeah.
if you could go out and spend the money, I'd get Rodrigo from Real Madrid.
You'd go
Because
for him, yeah.
I feel like he could be our Sanchez. When we signed Sanchez, took us to that next level.
Mm.
Was doing good at Barcelona, but wasn't out of this world, and he was in Messi's shadow. So Rodrigo's obviously in Vinicius' shadow and Mbappe's shadow.
Yeah.
So
He
you
needs
put
to
him at
find his
Arsenal,
club. He needs to
you put him
find
at
his main
Arsenal,
club. Yeah.
bruv, him on the left, Saka on the right, and then if you had a Grokers or a Sesko, one of them in the middle, that would be
So that's how you would
That'd
do
be
it.
exciting,
So you
yeah.
wouldn't do that 2-striker thing that I've suggested.
no. But the reason why is because I feel like Havertz can do a
Can
job
be
up
that.
front,
Okay.
and I feel like Jesus as well. Hopefully, God willing, he can stay fit. But I feel like them two off the bench, even Marino's shown that he could be the, you know what I mean, coming on for the last 20. So we do have other options there, but that left wing side, Martinelli is just not good enough. I'd get rid of Trossard because I feel like Trossard,
He's done okay.
he's
but
done
yeah,
okay, but
there's levels.
there's levels,
There's
exactly.
there's
And it's like, I feel like he could have an attitude when he's not playing. Martinelli, if he's not playing, I know that boy. He's going to give 100% in training, and he's going to keep playing until he's back in that
For
team.
him too, there's levels. I feel like that's why
Exactly.
you're saying
So
Rodrigo.
I'm saying we
yeah.
need a left winger just as much nearly as we need a striker, because Saka is all on him. Everything all goes to him. Odegaard to Saka. It's so predictable the way we play now. Get the ball out, get it to Odegaard and pass it to Saka, and then get it in. Saka come in and cut in on the left. So for all that pressure on Saka, do you know what I mean? It's not fair on the boy. So for me, left winger is just as important as a striker. You get
That's a
them
good
two
point.
in.
Yeah.
Zubermendi in the middle, who
Yeah, you signed him. Liverpool wanted
From-
him, but obviously Gravenberch
that's what
turned into a madman
who's
this
been- who's
year.
been
So they never
fantastic as
went
well.
for him. But
But it just shows you though that you don't always need this big CDM, like a Rodri or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Even Rice doesn't play there for us. You look at Liverpool won it with Gravenberch in that position. Thiago was outstanding for them before in that position. Do you know what I mean? So
He had Fabinho with him in it, like he was a beast. Like
he was unbelievable. But this Zubimendi, like I said, I don't watch Spanish.
So you win the league next year
if we make the right signings.
if you make the right signings.
Like
what's your prediction on United?
United, honestly,
I know, like it feels like
there's no way.
You know what's sad about it? It feels like we're in two different leagues.
Yeah,
that's why you're laughing. It's like I don't even care. Like it's not even. But honestly, what's your prediction?
Look, there's no way in hell that you can do as bad as you did. And from the signings that you're making already, and Buemo's let's face it, he's a 20-goal season man. So it's looking like you're going to get him. Kuna is fucking. We had this debate on here who's better than him and Odegaard, but I think it's an unfair debate because Tuna is.
Well, who's better, Cunha or Odegaard?
Yeah, I think Tuna's more off the striker than a midfielder.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he could be a new Eric Cannott now. Who knows? Because he's got that. He's got that about him. He has got that about him. He's got that aura. He's got that style. I know I said I'd prefer Odegaard, but for me, looking back on it, they're two totally different players. Odegaard pulls the strings, gets on the ball, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The playmaker through and through.
Eye of the needle pass and all of that. Tuna will Kuna. I keep calling him Tuna.
You keep calling him Tuna.
I keep calling him Tuna. Anyway, Cunha, he gets on the ball and just makes something happen out of nowhere. He just does something magic, don't he?
I'm glad you reminded me of that, actually. Remember, like, it must have been about 6-7 months ago in the group chat, I said, Man United transfer strategy moving forward needs to be old school.
Yeah.
Like,
go and get the best players.
Go get the best players from Premier League teams.
You're getting Brentford's best player and you're getting Wolves' best
Tyrone disagreed with me off the bat, you know.
Spurs
Tottenham fan, you know, knows nothing.
Exactly.
He can watch this, come on here, come chat to me. You know absolutely nothing.
Get on. We're waiting for you to come on. You've won your little Tim Pot Europa League.
Yeah.
Come on, sit down with the boys.
He gets my blood boiling in that chat.
Gets my
every week. I hope he watches this, yeah? But I said, and he piped up and goes, what are you talking about? You know, you didn't get Ronaldo from this. You didn't get... Bro, let's go through the list, yeah?
Yeah.
Cantona was from Leeds.
Yeah, and they just won the league as
Andy Cole was from Newcastle. Dwight York was from Aston Villa. We can go to recent times. Rio Ferdinand was from Leeds.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrick was from Tottenham.
And Percy
Berbatov was from Tottenham.
Percy, Arsenal.
The list goes on. Fergie always gets Premier League proven.
He was from Everton.
And then he spices it up.
Yeah, exactly.
With a little bit of a global star. Like, you know what I mean? He goes and gets a Veron. Juan Sebastian Veron or someone like that. And we're back to doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that.
Yeah. Do you think it's interesting? Do you think they're Murray's signings, or do you think this is who is it now, the director?
This Wilcox guy, innit? We got that Dan Ashworth, but he obviously wanted Southgate. That's what everyone says. So they fell out. I have him right. He probably made the right, I think he was on the right path there getting Southgate. I think Southgate would have steadied our ship.
Definitely.
Got us to where he got England, and we could then be in the market for Luis Enrique.
Yeah.
We're Man United. I know it sounds like I'm Gary Neville, yeah? But we, you know, if Gareth Southgate got us, he would get us to there.
Yeah.
And then we could go and get an Enrique to put. Now we're Wallies, bruv. We're like, we're 15th in the league. Like, but we're drifting. The point I'm making is Amorim, or whoever's behind it, is doing exactly what I've suggested. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Yeah.
You
know? Because I mean, I don't know how much money you lot are going to have. How much is Cunha?
Cunha was 62 million. What are they saying Mbuemo's going for?
I think it's similar sort of money, ain't it?
I didn't see it today on Sky Sports.
You know, I've just seen this come up here now on my phone. Brentford have signed their number 2 Liverpool goalkeeper, the Irish fella.
Kelleher.
He's a good keeper, man. He could have. I don't know if he would have went.
Kelleher,
Liverpool. But
I've just seen that.
He would have been a good keeper for you lot.
Yeah, it says they're expected to approach for 60 million. So that's 120 million.
Yes, I mean, who else are you going to get after that, really?
I said this in the chat the other day, and we need a goalkeeper, yeah. I know I've reiterated.
So that's your next position. If you get Mbuemo,
if we get Mbuemo, Cunha,
and a goalkeeper,
right, already.
Can you make top 4 with a goalkeeper of your choice? Could you make top 4? No, not with them 3 signings.
Even not with them 3 signings.
Top.
No, United fans. Yeah, you'd be happy if you get top 10. We're a disgrace.
Well, that's what you asked me. Where do you think you'd finish next season? Only now, because I would have said really same place. But now I've seen them 2 signings. If you sign a goalkeeper, I think maybe you could challenge for the top 8, possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Mate, we'd be lucky to get top 10, guys.
But don't
Keep it-
forget, there'll be no Europe as well, so that will be a bonus, though.
Mate,
It will be, though.
Europe was the only thing keeping us alive because we were playing teams
Yeah,
that
that were below par. Yeah, exactly.
any Premier League team we played, we get played off the park.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst Europa League ever.
Oh my God.
Ever.
But
The level
you just look at the history books. We won
Yeah.
another trophy. That's
Yeah.
what I was going off.
Yeah, of
But if we
course.
keep it real, this is going to sound like Heinz. I knew we were going to lose to bloody Tottenham
Yeah.
in the final. Because any Premier League team we play,
Yeah.
we lose.
They'd already beat you 3 times in the season.
we said that, right? I thought, yeah, it is a final, though. Tottenham surely
Yeah.
can't win it.
I just can't believe when I looked at the stats, though. I think Tottenham had like 25% of the ball.
Yeah, but we did nothing with the ball anyway.
Yeah, and the passing
But
completion
listen,
rate was.
I sent that in the chat, right? And everyone was like, why are you sending this? It doesn't matter. You didn't win it.
Though.
Yeah, but Tottenham went
What
there.
an awful
and
game of football.
it was
Was
shocking.
it an own goal as well? I think.
Oh,
think
Luke
it went
Shaw,
bad
you know,
as-
I mean, talking about players.
How's he still playing for Man
Yeah.
United?
Jose Mourinho, you know, I love that
Yeah,
guy
exactly.
to bits. I would never have sacked him. I don't want to start going down here. I would never have sacked Jose Mourinho. We would not be where we are now if we kept Jose Mourinho this whole time. Right. But let's not go down that.
But
We don't-
obviously, Jose
he said
he'd be your number
Luke
one
Shaw's
choice,
a
right?
fat boy.
Yeah,
you
he
get
did,
me,
he
yeah?
did, he did.
And look at Luke Shaw now, bruv. My man looks like, make that guy do 100 burpees and a 5K. I reckon I beat him still.
Yes. I'd
If
put
this
money on
ever
you as
blows
well.
big and he watches this,
Yeah,
who
I'm-
knows where life takes you, yeah?
Yeah.
Luke Shaw, I'm challenging you now.
There you go.
5K and 100 burpees straight after. I reckon I'll smoke you, G.
There you go.
I'll smoke Casemiro in a 10K run as well. I reckon.
100%.
The guy's finished.
You.
The guy's
backing
finished
you.
as well, bruv. But fair play to him, though. He's good in the box, you know. He wins
is.
headers, Casemiro,
He's
but
got-
he's finished as well.
Yeah, he is. But I kind of feel sorry for him because you can see he is giving his all. He's just lost that yard of pace, ain't he?
What he's good at, he collects the ball and he
Yeah.
first times it over the top.
Yeah.
But we got rid of Rashford and players like that
Exactly.
are on the in behind. So
It's crazy the money that I mean, who sanctioned that decision?
what?
To give him 400
Casemiro.
grand a week at 31.
I think that was the end of Ten Hag, by the way.
Yeah,
Ten Hag wanted De Jong.
yeah,
De Jong
Did-
never.
yeah.
Remember, we were.
yeah.
De Jong would have changed the way we played.
would have. Yeah.
You know that man. Have you seen him?
Ten Hag's gone Leverkusen now, isn't it?
Yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
But their team's kind of ready made.
That guy's the plague, G.
plague.
That guy's the plague,
Ten
G.
Hag is there. Who's worse than Ten Hag or Ruben Amorim?
Ten Hag's the plague, yeah. Ruben Amorim has wound me up this year.
Yeah.
But I can't say he's worse than Ten Hag. These are Ten Hag's players.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
No.
He's wrecked the team.
He
Ten
thought-
Hag's got rid of McTominay, right?
Yeah, what a player. Shout out to McTominay, by the way.
I need to. I know
always
you're
say
not
he's a
like.
good
I
player.
like wearing other team shirts. I know
Yeah.
some people don't agree with
Yeah.
that. I'd legit wear a Napoli McTominay shirt
Yeah,
because anyone that sees that shirt right now
yeah.
will be like, "Fair play, mate.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
a hard shirt."
And
He has smashed it, bruv.
I always said,
Conte, though.
people laughed at me when I said, you know what, Arsenal should go and get him if United don't want him.
When I see the goal scorers in their final game,
I know.
right, to win
It's
their league.
crazy. Lukaku. you lot
Lukaku and McTominay, Man United.
in England slaughtered Lukaku. Slaughtered. Right, because of his first touch and because of this and because of that. The guy banged goals,
Bro,
right? Even you're telling me Lukaku in the Arsenal side.
you know what?
Forget Man United. Lukaku in the Arsenal side for the last
Well,
2 years.
you know what? You've just hit it on the head right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Another one.
That's another one.
That could, yeah.
That's another one. Not your main guy.
But Conte
No.
gets him in.
You get a Lukaku in
when he
now.
links up with Conte,
Yeah,
he gets him into shape.
Well, then let me
Like,
ask
no
that
one
question
else
again. I don't want to go back.
Yeah,
If Conte came and brought Lukaku with him,
I know.
and you got a marquee signing as well,
Yeah,
man, like,
I know. This is the thing. This is what my mates say to me about. They say, Dan, don't be too attached to Arteta. Don't think that it can't be better. But look, you lot were finishing second with Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You've changed, and where are you now?
I had this conversation.
You know what I
with the
mean?
missus.
So it's a very difficult because Arsenal, yeah, we could get in a big manager. It might not work.
we used to think as
You know what I
United
mean?
fans, and rightly so, we need to be winning the league
Yeah,
and winning Champions Leagues, right? But we used to think as United fans, that team of McTominay,
Yeah.
Fred, Fellaini,
yeah.
right, Pogba,
Yeah.
and Herrera, Martial. We
Yeah.
used to think that team,
The other guy that was gone to Fulham, he was decent as well.
Andreas Pereira,
Yeah,
yeah, we used to think that team was a disgrace.
yeah.
That team would smoke our current
Of
team,
course, yeah,
and any of them would walk into our current team.
yeah.
We've gotten worse and worse and worse.
I think the best football you played was under Solskjaer. I think it was the closest to Alex Ferguson. It was all right. It was counter, but it was fast.
Well,
It was direct.
Pep's ruined football, yeah.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola has ruined football.
Well, he hasn't ruined football. People trying to imitate him have ruined it.
He's the pioneer of wrecking football.
No, because he did it well though.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to watch.
Good luck to him.
You know
I
what I mean?
cannot wait till that Wally's gone from the Premier League.
Watching other teams try and do it.
I know,
That's what it
but
is.
for me, it stems with him. He's wrecked it. Like everyone's trying to play Guardiola ball. Yeah.
You're giving me good headlines.
Yeah, well, it's good. That's what this is facts. This is my opinion, bro, isn't it? Like it might be wrong, it might be right, but this is me. I can't wait till Guardiola's left the Premier League.
Well, I can't wait either.
And when I was watching
actually
Luis
leave the league.
Enrique, right? When I was watching Luis Enrique win that trophy, you know what the first thing that came to me? We're going off subject here, but why not?
No, just go
Ask the
with it,
question, yeah? If Pep Guardiola has a bad year next year, Man City, you go and get Enrique.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Yeah. Because he would have done it. He would have done it in Spain. He would have done it in France.
There's only
The
two
next
managers,
the next destination for Enrique is England.
and it's a Man City.
100%.
It's a Man City.
And it could easily be Man City.
Yeah.
If Pep-
Guardiola has a bad year next year. Get Enrique for
Do you
City.
know what, Enrique? It looked to me that he's let them players do what they want. He's let these young players do a
Totally.
Barcola, Kvaratskhelia. They're mixing it up. They're going from left to right in the middle. He's just letting them play. Whereas, like, if you see Guardiola, like look at Grealish. What a player he was.
Guardiola,
What a player he was at Aston Villa. He used to get on the ball and excite everyone, dribble at players, bend one into the top corner.
Guardiola
He's not allowed to do
turns
that.
players into system players.
Yeah, for sure.
Bernardo Silva plays for Portugal.
And I do worry about that with Arsenal though, and with Arteta as well, because Martinelli was a better player. He was a better player.
Turns him into a system, but he's got that from Pep, obviously.
Now
That
he's-
system
now he's
player.
straight out
That
to the
system
left.
player.
You just know what he's gonna do, and do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That first season when we nearly went for the title, it was the most off the cuff football. It was like Wenger ball. It was unbelievable. No one could believe it. We were smoking teams. Then the year later, he got Declan Rice in. We were steady, but we were still banging teams. 5-6-0. Beat Chelsea 5-0. We were 6-0 West Ham. All of these big wins.
Mate, I think you're doing.
was good.
I think you're doing
This season-
fantastic, mate. You're not doing badly. Yeah,
Yeah, but
nowhere
like you
near
said,
it.
We need the trophy. now.
We've discussed what you need. Like, if you do that, I think you do it.
Yeah.
I do think you do it, despite what Liverpool signs.
Yeah.
You know, Salah's been amazing. Does he win the Ballon d'Or? He sorted his hair out. That helps because no way he was going to win the Ballon d'Or looking like
Because I
that.
know in your opinion on Salah, he's never really done it for you, has he? But for me, I think he's the most underrated. I think for people even saying Yamal now is the best player in the world, for me, that's a disrespect. to Mo
Salah should win the Ballon d'Or this year.
Salah should win that
Yeah,
Ballon d'Or.
It's a shame he didn't show up against PSG, but why?
In one game.
Nuno Mendes, mate.
Yeah.
That geezer right
He is
now
phenomenal.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, he is.
Side
But
note,
that's 2 games or whatever. Like throughout the whole rest of the season, I know Salah towards the end now, they kind of had the League One, and
Salah should win the Ballon d'Or.
the numbers are absolutely phenomenal.
Salah's better
And
than Dembele. He's better than Yamal.
Exactly.
He's better than
and
both
what
of
Salah's
them.
done, right? What Salah has done is he used to be like, I'm not going to say Messi like, but he used to dribble past players. Remember that goal against Man City? In and out,
He
jinxing
still
in and
does.
out.
He
Do
still
you know what I mean?
does.
But he's kind of done like, you know, like Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's evolved,
It's
yeah.
like Ronaldo. Everyone forgets about Ronaldo when he used to do all the step overs and skip past people and all of that. Then he realized I'm getting older now, stayed in shape, and he become a box player.
Yeah.
So Salah, he doesn't do all of the bobbing and weaving now and the dribbling, but he still gets the ball and just bangs one in the top corner. To win Liverpool, they were probably third favourites to win the league. He's got them and carried them on his back.
I can't believe what Slot's done.
I mean,
My
how many goals
predictions.
did he get this season, Salah? He got like 18 assists and like 28
he
goals or
smashed it.
something crazy like that.
Did he end up breaking the record? Was it Ronaldo's record?
I know he broke the for the
Goal
30
involvement.
for the 38 games. Yeah,
He
but I
broke
think
it, yeah?
Shearer or Cole might have had more over 42 games.
What
but
legends, mate.
That's 42 games,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. But Salah should win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, for me,
He
as
never
well,
won it
Salah.
before because of the geezer's haircut. He looked like a...
Yeah,
Yeah. No, listen. The
Such a
Ballon
mob.
d'Or's an elite,
yeah,
you know. You got to get up on that stage, yeah.
yeah,
You know, unless you're Messi, he's the
Yeah.
deadest personality guy, and, you know.
yeah.
Man's basically got a French crop, old school trim, you know.
with
Messi's
the-
a dead guy.
Messi with the
But-
beard though. That was
Yeah, just a dead guy, you know. When CR7 stands up there, it gives it that.
yeah. I hear what you're saying.
You can't have Salah up there with his bowl patch here, with his
Yeah.
curls hanging everywhere, saying that's the Ballon d'Or winner. They were never going to give it to him, bruv. So, you know what? He's done everything right. He sorted his trim out. and had a banging season.
And he's in unbelievable shape as well.
He's in good nick as well. But yeah, he sorted his trim out. He's had a good season. If he don't win it now, I do feel bad for him.
Yeah. And I do feel he won't win it. Dembele's the favourite. And
I don't see why.
He's won the treble, I suppose, isn't it?
And they go off of Champions League always.
If you win the treble,
Champions League always.
And he has scored about, I think must have scored 30 goals this season himself. That's another one though. Speaking of 30 goals, Arsenal were linked with Alvarez from
Atletico Madrid.
I know you said that would be another guy that didn't quite make it at City and that.
He's a good player, isn't he? He's a good player.
Unbelievable.
He's a good player.
If we could get him,
I think that might be. I've changed my mind on that.
Him and Sesko. Oh my God! Or him and Goalkeeper.
Yeah, but I think him and Sesko that's two elite signings. Yeah, I don't think Alvarez goes into the Mitrovic Vardy.
No, he doesn't. Of course he doesn't.
Do you understand?
But I mean, I'd put him on the left. I would play him on that left.
I don't think you're getting two elite players like that.
Why not? That's dreaming, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd be lucky to get one elite player.
Exactly.
Like I said, I know we're going back on this. I think the key to Arsenal from an outside fan is an elite striker. You made a good point.
You think if we sign a striker, we'll win the league?
No, I think if you sign an elite striker, I've said my names already.
Basically, two attackers. Yeah,
the elite and a Vardy.
Yeah.
I think if you do that, you win the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you will be on the
cusp.
On the cusp.
Again. Yeah.
On the cusp. And there'll be no excuse not to win the league then.
Yeah.
You know, that is the summary for me as an opposing fan for Arsenal. If they do that, I think they do it, you know. For United, mate, for me, I said this in the chat the other day, we need a goalkeeper. I'm happy with where they're going in the strikers scenario, the forward attacking scenario. And this is going to be controversial, I would get Modric.
For United?
Yeah.
Really?
He's got no team now. I'd bring him there. Why not?
No, I think that's the last thing you want to do now, man.
I'd bring him in there. I'd even.
Madrid's like in two old boys.
Yeah, I know. We did it with Casemiro, but this is free, bro.
Yeah.
This is free.
But it's free. His wages will be astronomical, though, wouldn't they?
I don't know if they will be.
Do you know what I mean? I think you need young players.
I get it, but I would.
That are doing it.
You need experience with young players.
You do, yeah, but.
Yeah, I would bring a Modric in. I would bring a Modric in, not to play week in, week out.
Yeah.
We're talking about bringing Jamie Vardy in for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah? How are we doing that when Arsenal are challenging for the league?
Yeah, of course.
Why are we doing that?
He's going to know his position. Modric's going to want to play still, ain't he?
No, he has to.
He's going to want to go to Man United. I don't know, man. You've done it with Schweinsteiger as well with these players. I know Modric is the level above.
I would get Modric in as a Jamie Vardy signing for Arsenal, just to mix like some experience in there with Amorim's new elite. We call like the Cunhas, the Mbeumo's, the elite signings. Yeah, I would get a Modric in there. You know who else I'd get in there? I can't believe I'm going to say it. I'd bring Pogba in.
Oh, see, now I think you're going.
No, I would. I'd bring him in. I cannot stand the team we have now, bro.
Yeah, I hear you. But I think you need to look forward, man. You need
Ugarte is a shocking signing.
You know, you should get Palace, the one from Palace, Hawthorne. I think you should get him in the middle, man. These are the players you need to get now that are going to be good for the next 3 or 4 years. Because, like you said, it's not a 1 year job fix. It's not a quick fix. So you're planning for the next 4 or 5 years. You need to, and Mbeumo's only 26, 25. So he's perfect for the next 4 or 5 years.
I get it, but you can't always look at that.
Same as Cunha. No, but that is what you lot need right now, man.
I understand, but we also need not to be relegated, pal.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like I'm glad you're still looking at United. Like we need to aim for the league.
Not for the league, but I'm just saying you need to.
I'm not saying that.
No matter what, next season, the least Man United can aim for is to be back in Europe. Get in the conference.
We're not doing that.
You can win that.
We're not. Oh God, blimey. We're not doing that. We're not getting back in Europe. We'd be good to get top 10.
Yeah.
And like I said, we need to stop looking at United like we're challenging for that. No, I would get the Premier League players from lower teams, like I just said, and I would bring in experienced players. Mate, did you ever used to play LMA Manager?
Of course, that was my favourite game ever.
My favourite thing was to go on, what was it, the transfer list?
Yeah.
Players that were transfer listed or out of contract.
Yeah.
Used to pick up ballers from there. Yeah. What is that?
Lilian Thuram on a free and that.
Has that strategy gone out of fashion now?
I think it's the wages though. These players that they're on. I think United are going to be trying to move away from giving players 400 grand a week in their 30s.
You can't get them. You can't get them within the wage structure that you're offering. Fine, you move on.
Exactly.
But forget wages for a second. I know it's a massive thing. We're fans, bro. We're not no accountants, yeah? That's their job.
Of course.
Their man work there,
But
and
it's
we're
not
sitting
realistic
here because
for
they're
United.
good at maths,
It's not
innit?
realistic for United to do that. I think you need to go way away from that. My opinion, you don't want any.
I think
you don't want
that's-
any of them players near you.
That's
right
so
now.
my opinion.
If you're playing in the Champions League, all right. If you
No,
but I'm saying if you had won the Europa League, then go and get a Modric for them Champions League games.
No, we don't need Modric in the Champions League. No. If we were playing for the Champions League, then I agree with your strategy. Yeah, if we were playing for the Champions League, I agree with your strategy. Right now, sign players from lower teams. Well, lower teams. No one's lower. We're basically relegated. But you get my point. Smaller teams like Cunha, like Mbeumo. Get these players in. Strategy number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strategy number 2. Get on the old LMA manager.
Yes.
Right? And get the rejects. Conte does it all the time, bro.
Yeah, he does it in Serie A. It works out there. He gets Ashley Young out there and Victor
Conte
Moses
does it
and
all the
wins league
time.
titles.
Conte does it all the time.
Yeah.
Remember Harry Redknapp for Portsmouth?
But that's in Italy, though, and Serie A.
It's worked here, bro.
Yeah, but you get Premier League players that don't do it in the Premier League. They go over to Italy. That's why, mate, can you imagine what De Bruyne's going to do? He's going to Napoli. Can you imagine what he's going to do in that league? I thought to go and lump on.
Would you see, that's another one. That's plays to that strategy that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I believe that would still work in the Premier League, by the way. I mean, I'm going way back now. Harry Redknapp's Portsmouth. It was all rejects. Do you remember that? The faux crowd.
I suppose that's where you lot
That's where we are. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still looking at us like we're in that camp. We're not.
Yeah, but you're still Man United. So Man United, I mean, I've said before that no one wants, it was a bit tongue-in-cheek that no one wants to go to Man United. But what I meant is that no elite player will go to Man United. But
we're still attracted.
You can still get players like Mbeumo.
But not every
who's a top
signing
player
has to
and
be
Cunha.
elite,
Do you know
bro.
what I mean?
Not every signing has to be elite. I agree. 1, 2, 3 elite signings. Then get the rejects. Conte does it all the time.
Yeah,
and he makes it happen, bro.
So you want Ashley, what you're telling me is you want Ashley Young on a free?
No.
You want him back at
that
United,
has killed me. No, what I'm telling you is players like Modric.
Look, I'm going to wrap it up here. There's 2 players that I need to ask you about first because they're both coming back. Cool. And they're Sancho and Rashford. What are you doing with them?
Sancho, right? We're talking about Sporting going into the training ground and smacking up players.
Yeah.
You know, that guy should not walk back into Man United at all. Like remember when he was like free Rashford?
Yeah, crazy.
Like, what are you talking about?
Craziness.
What are you talking about? You're out of shape, bro.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You know,
he needs to go on one of your retreats.
That's what I'm saying, bruv. Ward Box for life.
Yeah.
Like that's another player, by the way. I reckon I'll smash him in a 5K, 10K run. Everyone's thinking, what this guy thinks he's mad fit.
Check him out.
Shout me, bro. Ward Box Retreats, bro. Look at me, he's wearing the chain like I'm thumb.
Ward Box Retreats.
Ward Box Retreats.
You want to get in shape?
Yeah, exactly. Sancho, no way.
Rashford.
Chelsea.
You know what? I feel like Arsenal should have signed him on loan in January instead of Villa, you know. And I'm not saying we would have
instead of Sterling.
Exactly.
Instead of Sterling.
Like,
I agree.
Obviously, we already had Sterling, but still, Rashford could have come in
I mean, I think that question goes back to you. Let's say you get an Osman and a Rashford on the left.
Exactly.
You're a problem then.
Yeah.
Rashford's dead though, bro.
Yeah, he is dead. He is dead.
Sorry, like Rashi, like, you know, he's shown glimpses. Remember that year where but it's just it's one dimensional.
Exactly,
People listen, players are not dumb, you know.
Yeah, exactly. They learn quickly.
People learn.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Bro, I'm not no pro footballer, but when you play 5-a-side every week,
someone's doing this,
and you start playing with the same players,
Yeah.
I know my man's gonna cut in on his left foot.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, I know what you're doing. And when I show you on your right, you don't like it.
You have to be like elite, like I Am Robin used to do it, but you couldn't stop it.
You could some players you can't stop.
You can't stop it, yeah.
Bro,
yeah, Rashford. Rashford is a funny one because one year he'd get 30 goals and you'd think, okay, no, this guy's out of this world. Like, you know what I mean? And then the next season you follow up
let's
with 4
have it
goals.
right. What's he good at? Speed.
Yeah.
And just whacking the ball.
I think Rashford is one of them ones that he needs a cuddle. He needs a Harry Redknapp. He needs an arm around his shoulder.
Oh, mate. All this cuddle nonsense. These men are grown men.
That's how some players are, though.
These men are grown men.
Management is key, and some managers have it and some don't.
Mate, all that cuddle business, I'm sorry. We're grown men here.
Yeah, I hear it.
I'm playing for Man United.
Some players are, though.
And I'm in an era right now where I'm taking Man United into relegation. Yeah. That's what I'm known for.
But Solskjaer had him playing well, didn't he? And Ten Hag for a bit.
I didn't get to that point, by the way. We were talking about Pep football and we drifted off.
Yeah.
You know when we were playing that Solskjaer ball, that counter-attacking football, stick to it. Yeah. Build a team that.
Definitely.
Do you know why?
Should have.
No one else was doing it, bro. No one else was doing it. And we were the best at it in the league, bro.
Leicester won the league doing that. Forest very nearly got top 4 doing that, but you lot was doing it with a bit more excitement.
Bit of
You know what I
flair,
mean?
yeah.
A bit of
We were
flair
the
with
best
it.
in the league doing it.
You were.
And we were winning games. We were winning the big games doing
4-2,
it.
3-1. There was goals. Every Man United game was entertaining
Mate,
to
there
watch.
was a
When I put you lot on TV now, I don't even watch the game.
bro.
Because obviously I'd always watch the big teams play, Super Sunday, all of that.
Yeah.
And when Solskjaer had you lot, I used to literally think, this is going to be a good game. Get the popcorn out.
But
Do you know what I
you
mean?
made a good point there
Yeah.
about Solskjaer, like I said, but we drifted off. That counter-attacking style, I was fine with it.
And look,
But then what did we do? What did we do, bro? We went and got Ten Hag to play
Exactly.
this possession
But
football.
again, I have to touch on it. I always say it. As much as it's so hard to say no, but I think when you got Ronaldo, it killed that young, hungry, enthusiastic team that you had, and all the center and attention came on him because you finished second.
Let me tell you something.
You finished second the year before you.
And we got.
The year
I'll
before
tell you
got
right now.
Ronaldo,
Do you know who we got?
You finished second. I don't remember who you got. Sancho, Ronaldo, and Varane.
Bam.
And we were thinking, mate, you lot might win the league
Bam.
because that cuts 12 points or whatever it is you finish behind.
Yeah.
But all the focus went solely on Ronaldo. It's not just his fault, but it all went on him. The whole system had to change.
Let me tell you something.
Did Solskjaer really want him, or did the club want him?
Yeah.
And for me, that ruined Solskjaer's.
Let me tell you something.
That ruined what Solskjaer was building.
Remember the last game he played against Tottenham, Ronaldo?
Hat trick, of course.
Yeah. Minor
Phenomenal.
things. Minor
Phenomenal
things. This is
hat-trick.
Tottenham.
Phenomenal.
And here we are in the final now, calling on players like Højlund, Xerxes
Yeah, it's crazy.
to try and beat Tottenham.
Cavani, Lukaku,
Yeah.
Ronaldo. These are the
to try and
strikers that
beat
you had
Tottenham.
before.
And now people want to violate Ronaldo. You got to get him out. What?
No, I
Let me
hear
tell you
it.
something. Ronaldo, if he was in the final at 40 years of age,
Yeah,
we probably would have got a goal.
he would have got a goal.
It might have
would've.
bounced off his
Yeah.
God knows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we are shocking. So I'm not even, but yeah, you're right. At that time, you feel like it had that impact. I'm not going to disagree with it. Ronaldo.
I remember.
Ronaldo came and smashed it still, bro.
Yeah, he got 18 goals that year.
It just affected the team.
I
I
just
get
feel
it.
like
Yeah,
it did
yeah.
affect your team. That's why even now with Arsenal, I'm saying I know what we need, but the way we play, it's not going to happen where we just need a guy in the middle because that's not what Arsenal need. We need someone who can link up the play as well. That's why when I watch Šeško's videos, it looks more intriguing to me.
He's a big lad as well.
I want Grokius straight. He's faster as well.
Yeah.
I want Grokius straight for the numbers. But at the same time, look, Arteta and his coaching staff, I'm sure they know which player suits their style of play more. Do you know what I mean? So time will tell.
Yeah.
But listen, good chat.
Yes.
We'll get you back on for
Hopefully. Let's see
some.
the reaction.
Once the transfer window's done, we'll get you back on, man, and we'll look forward to next season, and we'll give our predictions.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes, man.
Nice. Thanks for having me.
Dave, big up.
Appreciate
Thanks
it,
for coming
bro.
on, man.
Cheers.
Everyone, remember, like and subscribe to Goonerz Therapy TV, and we'll catch you on the next one.